Going live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Cyberpunk 2077 once again. Today we got the patch 1.3. Yesterday they made a blog post saying, hey, patch 1.3 is coming to PC, consoles, and Stadia soon, and literally they dropped the patch today, so surprise livestream. How are you doing, guys? We're doing 1050 Ti, 570 and 1650 Super, and we're comparing it against the previous patch 1.2. I made videos on it so I can have more of a baseline on how it runs. Hey Jim76UH, Raven, Kilbertman, Lorian Garcia, how are you doing, guys? So very quickly, let's check out the patch notes. Huge patch notes. So hey Nono Atata, how's it going? So we get some free DLC. I don't care about this really. So let's go down. There's a lot of improvements. We're not going through all of them. We're going to check out the performance ones, the ones that we care about. So there's a lot of changes, as you can see. So let's go down here. Stability and performance across platforms. This section discusses changes that enter all platforms, and many of them make a bigger difference on last generation consoles and lower performance machines. So this is us. So dynamic resolution improved, good to know. Improved frame rate consistency resulted in fewer hitches and spikes, especially during combat, which this is something we had a lot of issues with 4 cores and 4 threads, so good to know. And then better performance, better stability in the city areas, also crashes, memory management things. So yeah, this doesn't matter. The thing that matters is this, I guess. Then UI, a lot of fixes for UI, graphics, also some clipping things that are being fixed. And then, yeah, this is all side quest stuff that they fixed. Huge patch. So we go down here. Yeah, it doesn't end. It keeps going. So PC specific. Fix the issue where tutorial tooltips weren't correctly displayed at 8K screens. Good thing I don't have an 8K screen. It would have had a huge issue there. Fix an issue that caused the game to crash if saved thumbnail was corrupted. Good to know. Added a more compact PC version mouse cursor and blah blah blah. And now Alt-Enter works perfectly, so good to know. And then some console specific stuff. But as you can see, this is a huge patch. It encapsulates a lot of things. So yeah, whatever. Let's get into the game, shall we? So let's launch Cyberpunk. Hi Phobos Slayer, how's it going? So we're starting with 1080p on the lowest settings. That's basically what we did with the 1050 Ti for 30 frames per second. Well, 20 to 30. It's not actually 30 locked. So yeah. Let's see how much it improved on the performance side. Also visually they seem to have better quality reflections now. So if you lower the reflections, it isn't so broken graphically, which is always good. Good morning, Night City! How much performance difference is there? I'm launching the game for the first time in a while. So, first of all, crowd density, medium. This is super important, so keep it on medium. My advice. Then, on graphics, we have the low preset, medium textures because only 4 gigs of VRAM. And everything is lowered to the minimum. So yeah, as you can see, everything on the minimum. So we're doing the same as in my previous video. Give me 1 second, guys, I'm going to start recording. We're doing full screen, please. There we go. So I start the recording, 1080p, as you can see. Graphics, boom, there's a lot of stuff here. As usual, everything on the lowest on the first one. Because, you know, 1050 Ti. So yeah, let's go to my save that I always use. So this is the same spot as on the previous videos.
To have you back. So then, did you all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in Night City?
So yeah, anyway.
Or the whale.
Also guys, the game is installed on an SSD, for you guys wondering. So as you can see, it didn't change that much, at least for on the GPU side. But on the CPU, at least for me, I've noticed better frame times, but as you can see it's the same as before in that regard on the GPU side. So let's drive a car. Yeah, let's steal this ride, this beautiful car. Excuse me, sir. I need to borrow your car. So this, I'm stealing a car, a metal car, to see the reflections once I try the screen space reflection stuff. Here's the mate for the people wondering. Here it is. I got it, don't worry. But I'm noticing that basically performance is almost the same. Maybe a couple extra frames here and there on average. But it feels more stable, so what they said in the patch notes there, I think is true. I'm not getting those stutters. We're going to move around a bit and then do some combat. But yeah, over 10. How much do you rate this game personally? I haven't played more than the prologue, so cannot rate it because I played too little. But I do like the shooting in this game. It feels okay. But usually the RPG stuff, I'm pretty... In general, I keep it automatic, so not my style of game. So yeah, let's go back and fight with the police. As usual, I'm recording a video while I talk to you guys. That's why I'm doing this running around. Yeah, screw you. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, it's basically the same in this area. But it locks. It goes to 30 more often. But it wasn't going to be magic. I mean, it was already below 30. Is there a mod to force PS4 settings? I don't know what that means, but I don't think so. It's probably a little bit below low settings. Well, a mix between low and medium, I think it is, on the PS4. But this is 1080p low settings. So yeah, it's basically still the same. No, I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking mate. It's like a tea, which is good for you. Anyway, let's go into the fight. Let's see if it stutters like before, or if they fixed it like they established in the patch. Okay. No spike to speak of as of yet. Also, the police are more far away. They spawn farther away, so they seem more intelligent, but they are not. They're just spawned way farther away. Let's see once the drones get missiles to us. That's kinda when it drops performance for me. So I gotta hunker down here and wait for the drones with the missiles. There we go. Whoa! Come on, drone. Where are you? Drone? There you are. Yeah, definitely more stable. Against the drone, at least. Yeah, not hitting a single shot. There we go. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's a little bit better. On the CPU side, it's a lot better, though. I gotta admit that. On the CPU side, I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, the CPU is an i3-10100F, 4 cores, 8 threads. I tried this on a Ryzen 3 3100. It was pretty similar. So yeah. For the people wondering, yeah, the game is improved. On the GPU side it's almost the same, but on the CPU side it's better. So they improved over the previous one in that regard. Also it's more stable overall, especially when fighting against the police, like before, like I said a second ago. So let's go to 900p now. Unfortunately on 1080p, no way to get 30 frames locked. You gotta use dynamic resolution, but we're going to do that later for the ideal settings. So let's go now for 900p. And let me check on my previous video what settings I used, since it's been a while. 1 second, guys. So anisotropy on 4, local shadow mesh low, cascaded shadow range, okay, off, low, 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 dynamic decals on medium, no screen space reflections, at least not yet, we're doing that later, subsurface scattering on medium, mirror quality, where is that? They changed the location of that option, okay. Color precision, medium, ambient occlusion, no ambient occlusion. Let's put it on low. Let's see if it's good enough. But yeah, these were the settings I was using in the past for 900p. So let's see if we get 30 frames like this. Okay, so these are slightly better settings than on the previous patch. So in this one now we can use ambient occlusion. We had to turn it off in the previous patch to get 30 frames per second. So this is now 900p resolution. Yeah, this game needs FSR. FSR will be amazing for this game. I mean, we already have an FSR outside of the game, if you want to. But yeah, it would be nice to have a real implementation, an official implementation, better said. So yeah, 1 second guys, I gotta fix the FPS counter so you can see it. And there we go. 750 Ti not supported? Yeah, it is supported. But you need to lower the settings even further. Wow, there are kids in this game, what the hell? Okay, whatever. Let's go steal a car. So this is 900p guys, and we're using slightly higher settings than on my previous video on 1.2. We can now use low ambient occlusion instead of turning it off completely, which is good, a slight improvement. But I'm mostly happy about the CPU improvements. It's just sort. What do you mean sort? But yeah, probably if you want better GPU performance, well, good luck finding a new GPU. On the GPU side, it seems to be very tiny improvement on the GPU side. So yeah, if you're aiming for 30 frames, the CPU should be pretty easy. The thing is, when you go to the GPU parts, well, that's kind of the problem. But I get it, it's pretty demanding at the same time. Estamos usando, Felipe, básicamente una mezcla entre medio y bajo. Guys, we're using a mix between medium and low, mostly low settings. In my opinion, it still looks decent enough on low, probably like on the consoles. But this is 900p, and now we can get 30 frames with a little bit of ambient occlusion put into it. So yeah, gun out. And they also said in the patch that now when you're fighting there's less stutters, so let's give that a try once more. We got this, whatever this is. 2 grenades at the police. Hey officer! Okay, still over 30, good. Okay, gone, reduced to atoms. Gotta wait for the drones now. One of the best early access games ever, hell yeah, best early access game. Guys, we added combat. Yeah, even with the drone firing at me, we get good frame times, so they definitely improved in that front. Always welcome. But imagine if this was the game on day one. It would have been so much better. Still needs work, but it's a lot better, way more stable. So I'm happy that they are focusing on stability now, over other things. Let's check out now 720p, which was kinda another way to get decent graphics on this card, and then we're doing dynamic resolution and all that good stuff. Can't wait to see the 570. Yeah, the 570 is coming after this one, don't worry, we're getting there. Now we're doing 720, and again I'm going to check out if we can get 60s at 720p now, because back then, a few months ago, it was not possible to get 60s at 720p. I gotta lower that resolution. So let me check super quickly. Yeah, still not 60s even on low settings at 720p. So yeah, pretty unfortunate. Again, the GPU. That's kind of the limitation. So let me see which settings I use on 1.2, so I replicate them. So on the previous video I made about this, at 720p I used 16 times anisotropic filtering, medium local shadow mesh quality, medium local shadow quality, and then what else? Okay, medium, medium, medium. Distant shadows on high, which is the only other option. Medium fog. Medium volumetric cloud quality. Dynamic decals on medium. Holy hell, so many options. Screen space reflections on low. So now we should have screen space reflections. Some of you guys were talking about, hey, the screen space reflections should look better on low. Let's find out. We're about to. Okay, mirror quality on high. And level of detail on high. This was basically my 720p 30 frames configuration on 1.2. Hang on, the game is loading. Come on. Okay. Maybe I can now do high reflections, maybe. Let's try that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, reflections are definitely better, although yeah, they're still kind of grainy. Alright, hang on. Gotta start recording. And read you guys. Yeah, also one thing very interesting about Cyberpunk is that CD Projekt Red was like the Rockstar Games of RPGs with The Witcher, and then all of a sudden people lost interest on all their company. They run themselves to the ground in like a couple months. So yeah, good job CD Projekt Red. Good job. Yeah, bye bye reputation. So this is mid-high. So now we increase the settings a tiny bit. Now we can use slightly better reflections at 720p. So yeah, I'll probably play like this on the 1050 Ti. If this is the only card I owned, I would probably use these settings at 720p because you get at least more reflections and better shadow draw distance. So yeah, this game is more of a visual showcase, at least for me. Again, crashing when pressing space. Try deleting the config file. That's usually helpful. Yeah, definitely smoother. No doubt about it, so I would say this is on the performance side, slightly better on the GPU side, much better on the CPU side. There are a lot of other fixes that come with the patch about the UI, the gameplay, that I'm not going to check out because I don't know enough about this game to check out those differences. So yeah, it's better on the CPU side, like on the previous patch. They are slowly but surely making it more stable. But on the graphics card side of things, it seems to be almost the same. Although I gotta say the reflections are better. They're still kinda grainy, but they look better overall. They're not that distracting. So yeah, good stuff. Also guys, after this one we're trying 60 frames per second just for the fun of it. It's going to be like 468p, but we gotta do it anyway. Your Santiago today we're going to test. Yeah, I did it at the beginning, but I repeat it. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Cyberpunk 2077 once again. Patch 1.3. Let's get those officers. Retirement came early. So yeah, as you can see there, we didn't drop below 30 when exploding the car, so again, definitely an improvement on the stability side of things, even when I'm being attacked by the drone. We're good to go. So yeah, definitely an improvement, but it's not a completely different game like some people were claiming. Oh yeah, the game is now completely different. Yeah, it's what it should have been. Yeah, this is what it should have been on day one. But it's not a completely different game. It's the same game, but more stable. So yeah, basically what it should have been on day one. That's my takeaway so far. I can use slightly higher settings. Anyway. Sabelo, Santiago. Sabelo. Alright. So now it's time to do the 60 frames per second configuration, which in my previous video was 468p, which is 720p, and let me check what was the settings. Everything on low. What the hell? Okay. Alright, we're doing that. And 60% resolution scale. Okay, I'll do that. So everything on the lowest now. We're doing 468p just to see if we can get 60 frames. So 468p, low settings. And let's see if we can get 60 frames. So we keep on static fidelity effects, contrast adaptive sharpening, and we put it at 60%. So 60% of 720p is 468p. Which is pretty funny that we're going that low. But hey, gotta get 60s somehow. If you don't care about visuals, go for it. And thank you so much, Vizix, or sorry if I mispronounced your name, for becoming an awesome supporter 1.0. Thank you so much, man, for supporting the channel directly. Hope you enjoyed the icon next to your name and the emojis that come with it. Thank you so much. So I'm able to test more broken games and how the patches improve them or break them even more. In this case, it improved a little bit. So yeah, 60% of 720p. Let's wait for it to load. There we go. Alright, there we go. 60 frames per second. Oh my god. I'm a PC gamer now. This is my PC right now. Like this guy's dressed. This is my computer at the moment. Anyway. So yeah, if you for some reason want to play at 60 frames no matter the resolution, well, there you go. Whoa, 50 frames per second. Yeah, definitely on the CPU side is better. Still not 100% of the GPU is being utilized when aiming for 60 frames. But yeah, it's more stable. Those 2 pixels are now smoother. This game is too much for any PS4? Well, yeah. But at least you can aim for 60 like this, so... It's pretty funny though. That I can go this low. Is this on Steam Deck? The funny thing is that the Steam Deck is probably going to run it a little bit better because it's a DX12 game. So the Steam Deck actually should run it better than this. A little bit better, I would say. So probably 720p 30 frames, high settings should be okay on the Steam Deck. I don't have a 3060 unfortunately, so hang on, we're doing the 570 after this. PS4 is really bar looking. What do you mean, barren? Yeah, I think the crowd density on the consoles is like on low, here's on medium. So there's a little bit more of a crowd going on.
I will find you.
There we go. Early retirement. And let's explode the car. Okay, still over 60. So 50 to 70 frames like this, but I mean, would you even play it like this? I mean, is it even worth it to play like this? Like if you didn't have glasses? It feels kinda like that. Some people that use glasses tell me, hey, playing at 640p is like not using glasses in real life. I have friends that use glasses that tell me that. It's like not using glasses for me. Switch wouldn't run it at 50 to 60. Yeah, nowhere close. Nowhere close. Okay, so that's the 1050 Ti. As you can see, I've seen it go better than before. But now let's do the optimal settings. So since 60 frames is so hard to get to, we're doing dynamic resolution on 1080p with basically medium settings. So let's try that. Keeping the visuals as best as we can, if that's even a thing. So we go one by one. Anisotropic filtering 16 times. This on medium. Everything basically medium settings. Distant shadows on high because that's the other option. Volumetric fog resolution, doesn't matter that much. Let's turn that off. Dynamic decals on high, shouldn't change that much. Screen space reflections on low to keep some of the performance. Ambient occlusion as well, so we have some sort of reflection and ambient occlusion going on. Color precision, keep this on medium all the time. Doesn't make a difference, and performance is better. Medium level of detail and medium mirrors. And we're doing now dynamic resolution. So target frame rate will be 30 frames. Yeah, let's put it at 30, like that. Minimum resolution, let's put it at 70%. So it's between, let me check how much that would be. So if 1080 is 100%, 1080 times 0.7. Okay, between 756p and 1080p, let's do 0.75. Okay, between 810p and 1080p. That's basically what I'm doing. So this is 810p to 1080p dynamic res on medium settings, basically mid-high. And let's see if we can get 30 frames like this. A lot of tweaking required, as you can see. Target frame rate 30 frames, minimum resolution 75%, maximum resolution 100%, which would be 1080p. And a mix between, yeah, this is medium to low settings. It's not medium to high, let's be honest. So yeah. And thank you, Death, for becoming an awesome supporter as well. Thank you so much, man, for becoming a precious member of this channel. I hope you enjoyed the emojis and the icon next to your name. Let's see if this is 30 frames. Okay, it appears to be. There we go. Alright. Let's see if it holds up like that. So let's start recording. Yeah, 1 FPS, hell yeah. So 1080p to 810p. So we're doing the PS4 experience with a little better graphics. Let's put contact shadows as well. Like this, like that. 30 FPS target, 75% minimum, 100% maximum. And on the gameplay, medium crowd density. So a little more characters than on the consoles. And a little higher resolution. Let's see if we can stay close to 30. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, I need a car, thank you. Let's check out the reflections at the top of the car. Hey, Unlike, how's it going, man? Welcome back. Yeah, the reflections are still pretty grainy on low. The screen space reflections, I mean. So yeah, I'm not sure if they are better looking like they said in the patch notes. But the game is definitely more stable. Maybe I need to lower the dynamic resolution a little bit more. But yeah, I would say these are the best settings. Dynamic resolution between 810p and 1080p. Medium to low settings. Kind of a mixture there. Whoa, sorry about that. But we got the reflections, we got the ambient occlusion, and we got some sort of decent draw distance. So yeah, this is how I would play the game, let's be honest. An improvement yet? Yeah, on the CPU side especially. It's more of a consistent experience now. I mean, it's kinda the same that the last patch did, but better. So previous patch also improved the CPU performance and the frame times and all that. But on this one the improvements are even better on that side. On the GPU side it's basically the same. Maybe a tiny bit better. And it also doesn't drop frames that much when fighting the police, so that's always a good thing. So yeah, it's better on the stability side of things. An idea about Cyberpunk 1060 plus G4560, it should be slightly better since it improved on the CPU side. But don't expect any miracles, I mean, it's just polish. The game is more polished, this is how it should have been on day one. That's what I'm trying to get across. So yeah. The fidelity effects improve the FPS. Now this is contrast adaptive sharpening, not the super resolution dynamic thing. So this is mostly sharpening, but I'm using dynamic resolution, so that kinda helps. Yeah, that joke, polish, ha, you see, it's polish. So yeah, best settings guys, at least for me, 1080p. Settings like this. And then resolution scale targeting 30 frames, between 75 and 100% resolution, and medium crowd density. Anyway, let's get out of the game now. Whoa. Wrong button. So gotta swap to the 570 now, 1 second. So time to swap GPUs guys, welcome back to my room. I'm waiting for the PC to shut down. Come on, shut down. So here we are, 1050 Ti, slightly better. Not mind-blowing, but slightly better. Time for the 570. Let's go. All right. Okay, it's in. Let's see. We demand affordable GPUs. Hell yeah. We need an upgrade over the GPUs we have. I mean, for how long did I have the 570 and the 1050 Ti? It's been a while. Yes, Triple Furious. I do. I do. Can I reach 60 frames with the 1060 now? Probably, but it's not going to be significantly better. I mean, you have to tweak settings, but you should be able to get there, yeah. We're going to find out once we get to the 1650 Super. That's usually pretty close to what a 1060 should do, so yeah. Anyway. Okay, we're back. So now it's time for the 570. And we're starting with 1080p, like always. But we're aiming for 30 frames per second first, as usual. So I'm drinking mate. Yeah, I'm drinking mate. Thanks. So let's see if there's any updates to the drivers. So, okay, up to date. Good. Let's launch the game. Yeah, this is called yerba mate, yeah. It's like a national drink. It's like tea. It's made of plants. It's pretty good for you. It has the same effect as coffee, but it doesn't break your brain that much. So yeah. Are you going to try the Diablo 2? I forgot that was a thing. Is it an open beta on Friday? Or am I tripping here? Was there an update today? Yeah, they announced it yesterday and I said, well, it's a month away. And they just dropped the update like it was nothing. So yeah, surprise live stream. Checking that out. Hang on, guys. My capture card is acting weird again. There we go. Good morning, Night City. Y porque sí, Fusan, porque sí. Alright, so we have the 570 here. Let me go to my previous video on 1.2, on the previous patch, to see which settings I used, because I do not remember, like at all. Okay, so in the previous video I did... Okay, medium textures, that's good. FOV, the same as this. Okay, I did contact shadows, improved facial lighting geometry. What else? Okay, anisotropic filtering on 4 times, medium, 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 high distance shadows, yeah. Medium volumetric fog. No volumetric cloud quality. Dynamic decals on high, good. No ambient occlusion for some reason, that's pretty odd. Am I missing something? No reflections. Interesting. Interesting choices that I did a few months ago with the settings. Mirror quality on high, LODs on high. We disable this. And those are the settings. Let me see how many FPS I got back then when driving my car. Okay, I got mid to upper 30s, like that. So we're going to try this out. This is medium to low settings. So yeah, let's put that so you guys know what I'm doing. Mid-low. So this was how I got 30 frames in the previous patch. Let's see if that's true. Is Cyberpunk better after updates? Yeah, it is. But I'm not saying, oh, it's a completely different game, go buy it now. No, I'm saying it is how it should have been on day one, basically. It's more stable. But FPS on the GPU side, well, no. On the GPU side, it's almost the same for me. Let's see if on the 570 is the same.
Hey,
I'm from Uruguay, mister.
To have you back. then, did you all hear about that Arasaka aircraft carrier docked in
Delicious mate.
called Kujira or the Whale?
Also guys, the game is installed on an SSD for the people there asking. Yeah, it's an SSD.
Local fishermen might
Nothing fast, nothing fancy. Okay, on the 570 I'm definitely noticing an improvement. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely better. So on the 570 I did see an improvement. Interesting. So I can now use reflections and ambient occlusion. Let's find out. Okay, yeah, I can. Nice. I can use higher settings now on the 570. So on the 1050 Ti I didn't see a huge improvement, but on the 570 I'm seeing better frame rates than before. So let's increase the settings a bit. Okay. Okay, it appears better. Alright. Okay, that's a good improvement so far. Frame pacing is better as well, yeah. So I can use higher settings, good. I'm going to change a couple things, but overall, 1080p. Everything like this. I'm probably lowering the reflections a tiny bit, just to be safe. And no dynamic resolution as of yet. Medium crowd density, and let's go back. Yeah, so far so good. So I can now use the medium reflections, medium ambient occlusion, that I couldn't use before because I was dropping below 30 frames, so yeah, definitely an improvement on the 570 at least. So good, good stuff. Finally I see an improvement. A clear improvement now. Good, so the AMD cards should have a slightly better experience now. I can finally have reflections at 30 frames per second. Sí, es cierto, Calyptus, es cierto. Yeah, guys, also, just like RGB, if you drink mate while playing the game, you get 30% more FPS, just for drinking it. Just by itself. The PC will recognize, oh, he's drinking mate, he's a Chad. And the FPS will go up. Just like that, instantaneously. It's as easy as it sounds. So yeah, good to know. The 570 can now do reflections and ambient occlusion without dropping frames below 30. Thank God. Okay. Let's now see if fighting wrecks the performance like before. So let's fight with the police for the millionth time. What does mate taste like? Very bitter. Very bitter. Okay. No drops below 30 as of yet. Anybody else? The drone also killed my performance in previous versions. Come on. What the? Okay, yeah, even with explosions right next to the camera, I'm fine. So yeah, on the 570 I can say that on the GPU side, this patch really helps. The game feels a lot smoother, especially when shooting the police. Which kinda makes sense, it's what they said in the patch notes. So at least they were honest in the patch notes. Well, Vika Singh, yeah, that's true, but only on the weekends. This game could really benefit from FSR. I mean, every game could benefit from FSR, let's be honest. Who doesn't like FSR? It's free performance. Yeah, Max is in the background, yeah. Okay, so let's now do 900p. I can clearly notice that there was an improvement on the GPU side. So let's increase the settings to high on 900p. Because we can do so, so we might as well. Color precision, just keep it on medium. Not going to change visuals that much. Okay, high settings, 900p. Let's use, yeah, lens flares and depth of field. Why not? Okay, 30 frames. Looking good. Then we're going to try 60 frames. Don't worry, guys. So we're doing high settings. And I gotta change the FPS counter so you can read it. There we go. So let's double check the settings. This is 900p. On the graphics, basically high settings. There's no reason to go higher than this, in my opinion. It's not like we have ray tracing with this GPU, so yeah. And the crowd density we keep it the same, because it kills performance, especially in the CPU. Okay, some drops here and there. Come on, stabilize, please. Don't run me over. Thank you. What a weird car. Your face is so crispy and the game's so blurry. Well, that's kinda the reason I have a face cam. Because I look crispy. Yeah, it's kinda the reason why I have a face cam. So you can look at something crispy to compare against the game. But yeah, definitely more stable. Not gonna lie. At least on the 570, I'm noticing the bigger difference over the previous patch. On the 1050 Ti it was almost the same, but less stutter. On this one I'm noticing less stutter and better GPU performance. That's a good improvement, but still. What I always say, this is how it should have been on day one. 9 months later, here we are, like a new baby. Go to the desert? Sure, later. We're going there later. I'm recording footage for tomorrow's videos. This is just investigation moments. We're going to the desert at the end of the live stream. Just because I've never been there in this game. I always started in the street, with Street Kid. On purpose, of course. To get to the city as fast as I could. So Cyberpunk any better now? Yeah, a little bit better. Especially for the AMD GPUs, at least in my experience so far. Yeah, even close to explosions. Back then they spiked my frame times. Now they're fine. Reduced to atoms. So yeah. Although the reflections are still pretty grainy. Are like behind the scenes of the videos he uploads. Yeah, basically. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. The only thing they don't do in the live stream is the voiceover for the videos. Yeah, and the VRAM usage is pretty low. I didn't notice that. Good catch. Yeah, maybe I can use high textures now, but I'm not going to try it. Because why would you in this game? Medium textures already looks pretty good. Alright, 720p. Wish me luck. Probably pretty easy to get 60s at 720, but hey, gotta try it first. Okay, 40 frames on high. Shouldn't need to go higher really. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah, there's ultra on some stuff. Kinda pointless if you ask me. High already looks decent enough in my book. But since we're at 720p, let's just go balls to the wall. Let's waste GPU resources. And then we try 60 frames, okay? Good. And let's increase the crowd density as well. So 720p ultra. The only thing that's missing here is ray tracing, but we don't have a good enough GPU to do so. Cyberduck. Yeah, Cyberduck 2077. So 720p. Everything on the highest. Because why not? We're PC gamers. High crowds. So more people than on the consoles, which is good, I guess. More people running around, complaining.
Wait, don't tell me that's a Jin Gucci.
Thanks for the car.
¿Me escuchas? ¡No me mates!
No te mato. Soy de Uruguay, Ezequiel. Still over 30 frames, 720p Ultra, on a 570. So if for some reason you want to use Ultra settings, well, you can do so. There's an option, there's a way. So yeah, for the 45 minutes I've been playing this game with the update, so far the AMD GPU is getting the best benefits, and look at that nice temperature that I have on my GPU. How if I change this game? What do you mean? Yeah, the improvements so far are on the CPU side and on the AMD GPUs. On the Nvidia cards, at least the 1050 Ti had a very tiny improvement on the performance. We'll see once we try the 1650 Super after this one. I'm guessing that that one will be improved as well. But I gotta try the 60 FPS configuration. So yeah, let's get out of the car. Hey, you guys, just looking at this thing. Yeah, what a nice... Yeah. What a nice railing. Beautiful, yeah. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, that's what corporations do to you in the future. They make you stare at railings all day. Alright. Jesus. My throat is dead. Alright. I think my voice is back. Yeah, it is back. Good. So as you can see there, the explosion didn't kill the performance, which is better than before. Oh yeah, give me that. I want to use the rifle, yeah. The machine gun, sorry. Sorry, Americans. Machine gun. Okay, never used this gun before. Although I'm going to die in a couple of seconds. Yeah, this is mate, yeah. It was the mate. But sure, call it whatever you want. I don't mind. It's pretty funny. La verdad que no sabría decirte, Juan Manuel. Okay, let's see what was my configuration for 60 frames on the 570. I think it was 720p, I think. Yeah, low settings 720p was my configuration. On this one I wouldn't use dynamic resolution for 30 frames. Doesn't seem necessary. Well, let's put it on low at 720p, like we did before. So low settings, 720. Okay. Over 60. It's going to drop below 60 when I drive, but look at that nice frame rate. Let's see. There you go, nice frame rate. Now we're talking. So low settings with a nice frame rate. So let's start recording once more. So we can complete the video we're going to upload. 720. GG. Nice frame rate, GG. I love those stupid jokes. Medium crowds. And let's keep going. Nice frame rate. Yeah, there's gotta be a video doing nice frame rates. Just for the sake of it. Just for the memes. Okay, 720p low. basically 50 to 60 frames. So yeah. Can you try 1080p medium with dynamic res? Yeah, it depends on what frame rate we're targeting. I'm going to try targeting 60 on medium settings between 1080p and 720p, because why not? Let's give that a shot. But as you can see, you gotta drop all the way down to 720p low to get 60 frames, so why bother with dynamic resolution? It's going to drop to 720p anyways. Probably below 720p to get 60 frames on medium. So yeah, my advice, use medium to high on 1080p, lock it to 30 frames, you're good to go. 30 frames per second, the game looks better than on the consoles, on the last gen consoles, PS4, Xbox One. And you can use a mouse and keyboard, so what else do you want? Not much that you can do. There's no DLSS on the 1650, so yeah, no way for me to use DLSS on that one. Nice way of dying. Early retirement. Yeah, pretty smooth so far. So, in my opinion at least, it still looks decent on low settings. But I wouldn't drop the resolution this low for 60 frames. Unless you really need 60 frames. Although the TAA solution still looks pretty good. The gun looks pretty high resolution. But we're playing at 720p, guys. This is one thing that I like about new games. Usually when the TAA is good, 720p doesn't look that bad. So this is one of those moments where 720p isn't as bad as on 2014. Did the patch work? Yeah, it's doing better than before. That's what I'm discovering so far. So let's get out of the game now. We're doing the 1650 Super. Again, best settings for the 570, I would say 1080p, medium to high, like I used on at the beginning. And then we're doing, if you want 60 frames, well, 720p low is kinda the only way. So good job 570, you did it. You cyberducked everyone. Now we do the 1650 Super, which should be like a 1060, guys. So if you have a 1060, expect similar numbers to this one. But you can use high textures, so that's a good plus. So yeah, let's see if we can do 900p 60 on this one, hopefully. Se das un mate, genio, sabelo. Lore, sabelo. Quien quiera que sea, señor, sépalo. 60 frames? Yeah, probably. If we tweak it enough, it's going to be okay. The only improvement I remember about this, apart from being close to the 1060, it performs better on DX12 and Vulkan games in comparison to the 1060. So it should be better, a little bit better than the 1060. So yeah, 5 litros ya se tomó, sí, literal. Capaz que 6. Alright. We're back into the PC. Let me double check that all the settings are correct. Okay. Yeah, everything appears to be in order, so let's launch Afterburner. So now we have the 1650 Super, for you guys wondering. We're doing 1080p, and we'll see which settings. What's in the cup? Just plants, basically, some tea. So as you can see, here's the 1650 Super installed. And let's launch Cyberpunk 2077. Pa, no tengo ni idea qué es eso, Radeon Benchmarks. El chat me mata, sí, bueno, para eso está. Alright, CD Projekt Red. Yeah, this is mate. This is mate. It's like a tea. That's basically mate. Everything is mate, if you try hard enough. 4350G is better as it has 4 Corsair threads. Yeah, better than the 2200G. Without a doubt. Hang on, I don't have audio. Gotta love my capture card. Okay, now I have audio again. We go all the way up to 1080. There we go. So 1080p, and let me check in my previous video. I'm from Uruguay, by the way. In my previous video, I'm going to see which settings I used, because I do not remember. It was on April 1st, okay. So on April 1st, I did Cyberpunk 1.2. Let's see which settings I used. All right, I mixed between medium and high. So let's use the same settings. 16 times anisotropic filtering. High local shadows. Cascaded shadows range on high. Shadow resolution on medium. Distant shadows on high. Volumetric clouds. Hang on, I'm lost. Volumetric fog on high. Volumetric clouds on medium. Max dynamic decals on ultra, because why not? Low screen space reflections. Why are the reflections always so low in my previous videos? Low ambient occlusion, medium color position. Okay, should be like this with medium crowd density. But I'm guessing that I can probably go a little bit higher on this patch, so let's see. I also have a 570. What do you advise me? A low budget upgrade? There's no such thing at the moment. Keep the 570. Keep the 570 and don't look back for now.
Figured it wasn't safe in Japanese waters. Afraid some local fishermen.
Yeah, I know reflections take performance, but is it that bad? Yeah, I mean, I can definitely increase those options now. So they definitely fiddled with the reflections in this update. Because I can now increase the reflections just fine. There's a psycho option for the reflections. Let's put them on high. So we can now increase a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, we can increase it just fine now. Look. Now we can do over 30. Nice. Good stuff. So the 1650 Super and the 570 definitely had an improvement. Because they probably tweaked the reflections on this update. They put that in the patch notes. But as you can see now, the ambient occlusion and the reflections can be cranked up from low to high without dropping below 30 on this GPU. So that's the improvement I'm noticing so far. And the performance when driving around. Oh, I don't have enough force for that. Don't worry. I can still take the car. Thank you, sir. I love that the game told me, no, you don't have enough strength to steal that car. Okay, you do you. How much VRAM does the 1650 Super have? 4 GB. They also seem to have improved their VRAM usage. Yeah, it's below 3 GB. So the 1063 gigs is probably going to have a better experience on this patch as well. Le faltaría un poco de gore, sí, literal. Pero bueno. Estás pidiendo mucho. Con que el juego funcione yo estoy contento. Some people are telling me, hey, this game needs more gore. And I agree. But I mean, I'm happy that the game actually works properly now. Which is... I think that goes first. Yeah. Again, like I say each time I'm standing in this part, this is how it should have been on day one. I say that on every update. But remember guys, this is a product you pay for, so... Yeah, I'm happy that it improved. But at the same time I'm pretty disappointed that it took them 9 months to do this. Why not just delay the game further? Yeah, the CPU usage is better as well. Nice railing. Yeah, nice railing. I agree. Anyway. Early retirement. There we go. Gun reduced to atoms. Sí, ahora está usando mucha menos memoria de video. Yeah, guys, it's using less VRAM as well. So they definitely fiddled with the reflections. The reflections used a lot of video memory in the past as well. So yeah, I'm happy that they improved the game. No doubt about it. The smoothness is noticeable. I can probably now do low settings with some ambient occlusion bundled in. Okay, good stuff. Let's now try 60 frames on 1080p. I'm guessing that 900p and 720p can do high settings, ultra settings just fine, from what I'm seeing. So yeah. Okay. So now we're doing low settings, but we're going to put anisotropic filtering on 16 times, low ambient occlusion and low reflections, and let's see if that is enough for 60 frames on 1080p. Okay. Still drops into the 40s, okay, fair enough. Let's go to low settings then. No reflections, no ambient occlusion. Okay, better than nothing. Still not 60s, but close enough. I think we can use dynamic resolution with that. Yeah, I'm drinking chimarrão, yeah. That's what I'm drinking. Mate, or known in Brazil as chimarrão. 1080p, guys. Low settings with anisotropic filtering on 16 times. And medium crowd density. So yeah, let's go. Nice trash. Must be tasty. The same car as before. We cannot steal it, so we shoot him. Please, can I get in now? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Occlusion y depth of field para mí lo dejo horrible. Sí. Y bueno. Con ambient occlusion te parece que lo dejo horrible, pero se ve más realista con ambient occlusion. So guys, as I was saying, no ambient occlusion and no reflections in order to get over 50. This is 1080p by the way, 1080p low. It looks worse, yeah, let's be honest. At least we have some shadows. Shadows are still working, but it does look worse. But if you don't mind that and 160, 50 to 60, well, there you go. That's how you do it. Let's turn around. Gotta get back. Is it worth buying today? I don't know. Check out the reviews. On the GPU and CPU side, it's a little bit better. Especially if you want to use reflections. The reflections seem to be less taxing on your system in comparison to the past. And the game is more stable on the frame times, so that's always good. But overall, the game is the same, it's just more stable. So check out the reviews. Same VRAM usage, yeah, the VRAM usage is basically the same as on the highest settings. But it kinda makes sense. Dead, reduced to atoms. They also clarified in the patch notes that while fighting there will be less instability, so more stability when fighting. And I can notice that pretty easily, especially when one of these drones attacks me. In the past it was Stutterfest, when this drone missiled at me. If that's even a word, I don't know. I do love though that on low settings, look at that shadows. Those shadows are loading in front of you. Oh yeah, overall, better. But the game is the same, so basically quality of life improvements. And the explosion killed me. Okay, now it's time for 900p. Maybe, we'll see. So yeah, let's find out. What this tells me is that in general the improvement is if you use the reflections before or not. That's why the 1050 Ti probably didn't have a huge change. I wasn't using reflections on that one. So to me at least it seems that they optimize more of the performance on the screen space reflections, which makes sense. This game is chock full of screen space reflections. So it makes complete sense that they tweaked that option. Let's see if in 900p I can do 60. Okay, 900p low. We can definitely get 60s. Let me see what I did in the past with 900p, like 3 months ago. Okay, ads in my own channel. Hang on, guys. I'm watching my own video and YouTube is putting ads to my own video. Why? Okay. Medium to low settings for 60 frames. Let's do that. So 4 times anisotropic. High distance shadows, because who cares about those? Medium volumetric clouds. Alright. Dynamic decals. No reflections, no ambient occlusion. Surface scattering. I'm going to put ambient occlusion on low to have some sort of ambient occlusion going on. And yeah, like this. Should be decent enough. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think this will do. So slightly higher settings than in the previous video. So this is 900p resolution with mid-low settings. No SSR, which is screen space reflections. Are Titan GPUs really powerful? Depends on the name, mostly. So Titan GPUs, I think there are things from previous generations, so I wouldn't count on the name. I mean, if the name is anything to go by, Titan GPUs will be the best, but they're not the best anymore. They were always overpriced GPUs with a lot of VRAM. Yeah, it's weird that Nvidia didn't release any new Titan GPUs. Nice car. Get out of there. Do 1650 have better reflections? No, the game overall has more optimized reflections. That's what I'm noticing. Low reflections uses less resources than before. So I'm guessing that they improved how the reflections work in the game. So if you use reflections in this game in the past, well, you can maybe now improve it a little bit, maybe from low to high, instead of using low reflections, which is a decent improvement, but visually I'm not noticing nothing special on the reflection side of things. They look the same to me. Maybe if you look at them side by side with previous patches, you can do so. Great, I'm stuck. Come on, car, you got this. There we go. I was about to call my stepsister to get me unstuck. Water reflection without RTX fixed? I don't think so. We're going to look at water after this. Thanks for reminding me that water should have reflections. I think this game, the water in this game is dreadful. I think Half-Life 2 has better water than this game. They drop performance like crazy, not sure why. Maybe CPU related. But it was just a second. Yeah, here. Not sure why. When I get close to this area, I drop frames for a few seconds. Pretty odd. LOL, yeah. It was a joke. Did you guys like it? Yeah, I called her and, well, she isn't returning my calls for some reason. She doesn't trust me anymore. I'm not the best stepbrother. anymore. Oh man, the things I say in the stream.
Fucking wipe you.
Not a single shot. You open the box and you're great, Kippy Poo. You're great. Reminds me of Far Cry. Well, you can say that about every single first-person shooter game out there. Oh man, it reminds me of Far Cry. Yeah, of course. One of the first-person shooters to be popular. Guys, this game reminds me of a game. Yeah, a game that has a gun in it. It reminds me about games that have guns. Like most games nowadays. Can it run smoothly with reflection mode? We're going to try that in a second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try now higher settings. And we're going to take a look at the water. Let's see if it's better than Half-Life 2. Which is not saying much. Well, I mean, Half-Life 2 has very good water for its time. But we're going now to do ultra settings, because you know, we're PC gamers. We always have to try ultra, no matter what. So 900p ultra. Let's see if we can get over 30 frames. Okay, we're over 30. Still over 30. I'm not putting the reflections on Psycho because, well, you know, gotta take care of the computer sometimes. Ultra settings. And let's start the recording once more. So recording. What CPU are you using? Everything is in the description, guys. If you want to know what I'm using to do the live stream, what I'm using to do the gaming, what I'm using to do the recordings, everything is below. Even the yerba mate I'm drinking is in an affiliate link down in the description. So anything that you want to know, it's in the description, guys. Do you want to get a new family? It's in the description, guys. Everything is in the description. Want to find your stepsister? It's in the description. Everything is down there. Sí, Jorge, me acuerdo. Ah, me alegro, Jorge, que no haya muerto tu computadora y fuera solo la fuente. Guys, someone named Jorge there that wrote in the chat a couple live streams ago told me, hey, my power supply exploded. I think my PC is dead. And I said, okay, try a different power supply. Maybe your PC hasn't died. And we were all worried about him. We did F's in the chat for his computer. He got a new power supply. His PC is now fine. Nothing died, only the power supply. So F's in the chat for the previous power supply. Died just protecting his computer. Doing the best in its power for the computer not to die. The power supply did its job. That's why you spend good money on power supplies. Because if anything happens to your computer, the power supply helps you out. F. Anyway, yeah, I had a power supply die in the past. It's kind of a nerve-wracking experience because you don't know what happened to the computer until after you get another power supply, so yeah. You've been lucky. Pretty lucky. But your power supply was a hero that died in battle, protecting your components. Grenade! Coming in hot! i5 4570 and RTX 2060, it may get 60 frames, but it will not be smooth. In this game in particular, yeah, it's going to be pretty unstable if you're trying to get 60s. 4 cores and 4 threads, I would say aim for 30 to 40 frames on this one. Boom, headshot. Boom, headshot. Yeah, even when this is attacking me, I'm not having any big drops. So let's now go see the water, like I promised. Better find a new gun to shoot like SMG. Yeah, I'm not really super stressed about it. I mean, I'm looking at performance, so I'm not super worried about guns and all that. I'm just trying to get a playable experience. Yeah, Kippy Poo, if that happened, well, I'll have to be the best brother ever. Sorry, stepbrother ever. So gotta take care of family, you know? Even if it's not your bloodline. Okay. The end is near. Yeah. It's been 9 months. Here, it's all yours. Get the money. There you go. You're welcome.
Good news. God bless.
I have a nice gun, yeah. See ya later. Okay. Let's drop. Let's check out the water. As promised. So what is your bloodline is pure? Yeah, my bloodline needs to be pure. Okay, there are reflections in the water. If you guys were wondering, just look at the water. There is screen space reflections. Let's check out the low screen space reflections now that we're here. So screen space reflections on... Let's put it on Psycho. Let's see what happens with Psycho reflections. Okay, not much. They don't look that different to me. Low screen space reflections. Okay, yeah. A lot better performance. They still have some sort of reflection. It seems to be reflecting less stuff. Not entirely sure. And if we turn them off, what happens? Yeah, if you turn them off, well... No reflections, like, at all. Only cube maps. So yeah, interesting stuff. But I mean, I never stopped and look at the water for the reflections like that. And there's not even... What the hell? A game in 2021, well, 2020. But it doesn't have any effect when I shoot the water. There's no... Yeah, this water is terrible, guys. What the hell? Even Half-Life 2 has water ripples when I shoot through it. What is this? I gotta drop a car in here and see if there's any ripples to the water. This is like Just Cause 4 level of water. It's like solid terrain that has reflections. It's like a dance floor. Like a very smooth dance floor. That's not water. Absolute BS. Can you dive into it? Yeah, I can, but I want to see if it ripples when I throw something into it. I need to find... Oh, I have a grenade. Never mind. Never mind. Let's try this again. The Witcher 3 tiene físicas el agua. Sí, literal. Whoa, dude.
No, don't do this.
Too late. Yeah, even Witcher 3 has better water. But that game is third person. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying random stuff. Yeah, Witcher 3 has better water, without a doubt. So not sure why they didn't repeat that in this game. Maybe they were focusing more on the city parts. They didn't care about the water in between. But still, that's a major oversight. I mean, how can you make water look that bad? Yeah, no, I'm not getting there. I cannot get down from the car. I'm stuck in the car, what the hell? There we go. Let's see if I can jump. Yeah, I can jump from here. Oh no! There we go. Yeah, you can swim. For the people wondering, yeah. Yeah, I'm not blaming the developers. I'm just confused. I mean, yeah, you can go underwater and all that. But from the outside... Yeah, no. Oh, let's throw a grenade in there. I'm guessing nothing will happen. Yeah. It just went like there was no water in there. That's fine. I didn't want to see any good explosion or something. Okay. Sure. Anyway. Let's go for 720p now. Yeah, the underwater is crystal clear. I mean, there is a lot of waste in the... There's a lot of trash in the water, but the water is completely clear. Best water in the world. Doesn't get dirty. Hang on. Sí, literal, Rodríguez, literal. Rodríguez Montes. Yeah, it does run better, guys. I'm just pretty surprised about some of the oversights in the graphics. Because they were... When they were trying to sell you the game, they were so... they were talking about so many details, but then you see the water and you say, what the hell happened? How? How did they mess that up? But I mean, yeah, seeing all the bad things that the developers went through, all that crunch time, I kind of understand the oversights, but still, somebody looked at that and said, hey, yeah, this is fine, ship it. Ship it, it's fine. Nobody will notice. Okay, I'm going to lower those reflections to low and the ambient occlusion as well. Let's see if that helps. Okay. Better than nothing. Ah, never mind, it drops into the 40s. Let me see which settings I use. So 720p lower settings. How did I get 60s on 1.2 at 720p? Oh, not another ad in my own channel. It's hilarious that YouTube puts ads when I'm watching my own videos on my own account. Such a weird thing. Ah, whatever. I'm not complaining. So at 720p I did medium, 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 distance shadows on high, medium, medium, high, low. Okay, doing good. Subsurface scattering, high, low ambient occlusion. Color precision, I have to lower that. Okay, everything seems to be in order. Let's see if I get 60s. There we go. Yeah, I did the correct settings in the past. Pretty interesting. So I did good settings for the previous version. So 720p. This is in case you guys want to get 60 frames with medium to high settings. So yeah. 720p, medium to high. So let's try it once more. I wonder if people will test the Megamount in the future. What do you mean? It's another part of the city I'm not aware of? Can somebody tell me fix or not? Yeah, it's better than before, but it's not a completely different game like some people say. So don't worry. It improved, but it's more stable. Reflections run better than before on high instead of low. And CPU performance appears to be better. So like I said on the previous patch, this seems to be like quality of life improvements, plus a lot of improvements on the quests, bugs, and on the performance side, yeah, frame times are more stable, especially when fighting. When fighting, I remember dropping frames pretty often. Now it still drops some frames when shooting, but it's significantly more stable. I noticed that because I can land shots now, even at 30 frames per second. What about 1050 Ti? I did it at the beginning of the live stream, so you can check that out. Just rewind time, and you'll find the 1050 Ti. It ran basically the same, because on that one I didn't use reflections in the first place. So I don't notice much of an improvement on that card. But on the 570 and the 1650 Super, yeah, you can notice. Frankly, I think CD Projekt Red should stop making games completely. Well, that's a long stretch. They need to improve their business, their way of business. But it's difficult. Because companies are here to make money, so if it works for them, they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over. I mean, that's how The Witcher 3 was made as well. They were lucky that The Witcher 3 came out the way it was, apparently. Because they made this game saying, hey, everything is going to be fine, we made Witcher 3. And that was their way to say, yeah, we're going to have a good launch. It doesn't matter, people love us. So yeah, they shouldn't stop making games, they should just try and be better for next time. Hopefully they learned about this, but I mean, money talks. So if they make money out of this game, they're going to keep doing the same thing. So who cares? Yo, how's it going? Can you fly in the game? I don't know. I mean, this is as far as I went into the game. I played a couple hours after this, but then I got bored. Not my style of game, personally. I mean, not my style, and it wasn't running super well, so I stopped playing it. Okay, we do Ultra 720p, then we do the best settings with dynamic resolution. So Ultra settings, 720p. And we're going to increase that crowd density, because why not? We're at 720p after all. So 720. Graphics, Ultra. We remove film grain and chromatic aberration, because why would you use those? And motion blur as well. Everything maxed out. And let's go. As you can see now, more people on the streets in comparison to the past, which hits the CPU significantly more. So yeah, if you want more stability, make sure to lower the crowd density to medium at least. Yeah, FSR will be nice. But once that happens, I'm doing another live stream, checking that out. If you pay attention, cops spawn right in your face. Yeah, I know. But they made them appear right in your face a few more meters away, so that's what they fixed about the cop AI. They still spawn behind you, but a few meters away, so it seems like they are, I don't know, patrolling the area, but they are not. They're just spawning further away, which is pretty funny. They just changed the distance at which the cops spawn, instead of making them more intelligent. Which is fine, I mean, it's functional, but I was expecting more from a new game. New game, I mean by a modern game. Yeah, modders are going to improve the game even more, I'm guessing. They should. If they like the game enough, they're going to do it. Yeah, this area loves to increase CPU usage when I go in circles, not sure why. Maybe because there is more detail, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to show you guys, so let's attack the police, so they detect me. Whoa, a car ran me over. So a police officer is going to, okay, die. So as you can see, they spawn, but farther away. So they still spawn behind you, but farther away, basically. So the mechanic is the same, they just changed the radius of the spawn point. Which is fine. It's a functional change, but it's still the same thing. The problem is, my opinion is feeling about 50 FPS. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 at 50 and it's smooth. Well, that's a completely different engine, completely different company, completely different budget. But yeah, I mean, Red Dead 2, it's from Rockstar. It's a completely different company that it's been doing games for way longer. Higher budget games, I mean. So let's explode the police officers again, just to show you that thing I was talking about. So now the police officers are spawned behind me, but they're farther away. As you can see, there he is. It spawned right behind me, but farther away. And it's fine. I mean, again, it's functional. But it's pretty funny the way they worked around it. They still do the same thing, but farther away, as you can see. Yes, yes, yes. Alright. Okay, died again. Now we're doing best settings for 60 frames. So let's do that. How did the 570 perform? Roll back the live stream, rewind the live stream, better said, and you'll find that. Now we're going to do 1080p dynamic resolution and aiming for 60 frames, because why not? Let's do it. So to do that, we are going to 1080p right away. Then on the graphics side, what do we do on the graphics side? Let's do medium. Then anisotropic filtering cranked up, contact shadows on. The shadows, we put them on medium. Let's put it basically on medium. No volumetrics, get them away. Ambient occlusion, let's put it on, yeah, let's disable it and put reflections on low. And if that's not enough, we're lowering reflections further, but for now. And we do dynamic resolution, aiming for 60 frames. Minimum resolution will be 75% of 1080p, so we do 1080 times 0.75. 810p like before. Let's see if that does 60 frames. Okay. Let's see if that holds up. No, it doesn't, I think. No, it does not. Okay, we turn off the reflections then. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm dropping to 70% resolution then. Okay, better. So guys, if you want to maintain 60 frames without doing much, this is what you need to do. So just select 1080p, like we said before. On graphics, basically medium settings with some stuff turned off, such as reflections and ambient occlusion. And then we do dynamic resolution, targeting 60 frames per second, minimum resolution 70%, and maximum resolution 100%. In this case, we're on 1080p, so 70% resolution is 756p, which is pretty low. But hey, we're aiming for 60 after all, so it's basically 756p to 1080p. So it varies quite a bit. So 766p to 1080p. Dynamic resolution. This is if you don't want to tweak the settings a lot. You just want to keep it like this. Well, you can do so. I forgot to lower the crowd density to medium. There we go. So yeah, as I was saying, this should keep you over 50 without touching much stuff. But again, it's very variable, because we're between basically 720p and 1080p, depending on what's going on. The resolution is going to go up and down, but if you're not paying very close attention, you're probably not going to notice it that much. How do you calculate the resolution? Well, you grab one of the axes, in this case 1080, and you multiply it by point and the percentage that you selected, in this case 70%. So you do 1080 times 0.70, and that should give you the resolution that we got. So 70% 1080p will be 756p. So you do 1080 times 0.70, and there you go. You got the resolution that you were looking for. So yeah, this is how you do it. But you don't have any screen space reflections, you don't have any ambient occlusion, so priorities. If you don't care about those effects, well, keep it like this. Should be pretty snappy on the shooting. I mean, rather than playing with a controller at 30 frames, well, you can crank it up. you're going to make your CPU suffer a little bit, especially when getting close to this area. But overall, a good experience in comparison to most people. Grenade! Let's see if they had better guns. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. SMG, finally. I have a different gun, guys. I found an SMG. FPS drops off like 20% once you get through mid-game. Okay, thanks for the heads up. Kinda makes sense. I mean, the city is bigger, and for some reason the police is not chasing me. I think they lost me. So yeah, mid-game. I mean, most people are not getting to mid-game. That's why I'm testing this area. Because you're going to spend most of your time in this part at the beginning. But if you can provide me a save file with that section, I'll test it. Or maybe if I get more interested in the story, I might go there myself. We'll see. But for now I'm not getting to mid-game stuff because of that. I mean, most of your time, if you don't get tired about the game, well, you're getting mid-game, but again, most people I don't think they're getting to mid-game. This is like the worst part I've encountered at the very beginning. And yeah, the police still hasn't noticed me. I literally killed 2 police officers and they still didn't notice me. Hey, you're here, you're late. Don't worry, man. Happy that you arrived on time. Because I was about to end the live stream. Although, guys, I should be trying the desert part. I haven't tried it before. So let's start a new game as a nomad. Let's check out how the desert fares against us. Because I've never been to that part. I always selected the same character. So we're going to keep playing like this. With these settings. 756p to 1080p dynamic resolution. And hang on, I dropped mate all over my keyboard. I'm an idiot. 1 second, guys. Gotta clean this mess. Good thing it was only on the spacebar. Have to clean my keyboard. Let's do my camera. I put water all over my keyboard on my MX keys. Please don't die, keyboard. I need you. Hang on, I'm going to get some compressed air to clean it up. That's the bad thing about mate. If you drop it on your keyboard, well, good luck cleaning it. 1 second. Alright, time to clean it up. Oh my god, so much dirt. Okay, I think I got it. We got it. My keyboard is safe. I turned it off. Now back on. Okay. Great keyboard, thanks. I love it. Hopefully I didn't break it. Anyway, let's get back to, yeah, MX keys. Because you can connect, I'll show you this super quickly. This video is not sponsored. I like this keyboard because I can plug in 3 computers with 1 keyboard. So if I need to swap to the streaming PC, keyboard number 2. If I want to use my gaming PC, keyboard number 1. That's how I save 50% of space right here in my desk. I only have 1 keyboard now. So we play on normal. And in general, I select always Street Kit because very fast you get into the city, which is pretty demanding. Corpo, I never cared about Corpo because it's basically Street Kit, but you start in a building. And Nomad, you start in the wilderness. So let's go to the wilderness. I never did this. So let's select female V. because why not? Let's make her the same as always. Next, next, next. And let's put all the points in body and reflexes. So we don't have intelligence, we don't have technical ability, but we're cool, we have good body and good reflexes. Sure thing, why not? I thought it was a membrane keyboard. Yeah, it's a membrane keyboard. MX keys is a membrane keyboard. I don't really, whoa, sorry. Wrong keyboard. No, it's a membrane keyboard. I don't need really a mechanical keyboard. And I type very fast on this keyboard, so yeah. No, Logitech paid ad. No, I wish. If that was the case, I'd tell him, hey, send me some headphones, some mice. The funny thing is, I love Logitech mice. I have two G502s. I have one G502 black and one white G502. So yeah, definitely not a paid ad. This video is not sponsored, but I wish it was. I would have a lot of free stuff. Desert runs 30% better. Okay, fair. I don't care. We already tried the city, so I'm just trying the desert because some people ask me to do so.
Guess I was wrong. Can always look for another
So yeah, that's why I'm testing it, because I wanted to check out how it was. I already tried everything that I needed to try for the video.
That's fine. Step aside.
Although tomorrow we're doing 1050, 2 gigabytes, 1030, what else? 750 Ti,
I'm gonna bypass the coupling and rig a hot wire.
1650 non-super. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff tomorrow. I wish I was sponsored by Logitech. Logitech, if you're watching this, please sponsor me. I love those products, so I would love to be sponsored by Logitech. I mean, imagine being paid for using the stuff that you use. It's like, guys, I'm using this keyboard that I got for free and I'm getting paid to mention it. I mean, it will be the easiest money ever. But no, I'm not lucky enough. Do you have a RTX 30 series GPUs? No. If I don't have a game to distract me, what I have to live for? No! Oh no! My life is over! Now, seriously, man. There's more important things than a video game. But since you usually pay for video games, well, better be quality. Yeah, that keyboard costs 100, but I mean, works perfectly for me, has a battery. It can be charged like a phone. And you can connect 3 devices, so I can swap between my computers very fast without an issue, so yeah. I mean, I got more than my money's worth. I'm just passing through.
Didn't answer my question now, did you? Name's Andrew Jones. Probably heard of me.
I'm on a 1660 Ti and FPS struggles to hit 50. Well, it depends on the settings, really.
Served in Spec Ops during the last war. Silver Shogun.
FSR is not good at 1080p. It depends on your eyes, man.
I can't say that it does.
Some people don't mind. I mean, and it's a free option, so if you don't like it, just don't use it. On 1080p, on ultra quality, yeah, you can notice. But I think it's worth the performance improvement, considering that most games have TAA nowadays. I don't mind, personally. No, I don't have any 30 series GPUs. Economy is a little bit difficult, comparison to before. Yeah, Sheriff, I don't care. Let me continue, please. Can I get out? Can I accelerate?
There's no clan. There's no camp.
Please?
I'm here alone.
Why doesn't the USA invade Poland over this? Don't they know how stupid the AI is? I mean, duh.
Family's in pieces. That's what
Imagine
I'm
that.
city.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
That would be pretty funny.
Hope you'll be on your way before long.
Why did you invade my country, bad
I
AI?
saw a broadcasting comms tower on my way in. My antenna's down and I need to radio something.
Oh man.
What you need's to hightail it out of here.
Sorry guys, I cannot skip this for some reason. I'm trying, but
Mind to see you drifting around these
no luck.
waters. Got it?
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
You like the sound of your voice, don't you?
What's that, Drifter?
I can move the wheel at least.
Nothing.
There we go.
Yeah. Best out.
Looking good. Wow, this part looks very good. And my car is super fast. How did I never play this mission, this level? I never ever... To the person that was saying, oh, the desert is 30% faster than the city. Well, no. Actually, no. It runs almost the same in this part, at least. I'm noticing it still drops below 60 in this part, which is pretty interesting. It's a little bit too bright, but it makes sense. Probably looks kind of weird because there's no ambient occlusion going on. But yeah, this part looks good. Pretty interested. Backwoods of Arizona. Yep, true. Feels like Las Vegas. Open the gate! I don't have guns, for some reason. Well, those will come soon enough, I guess. I was watching 30 minutes back. Oh man, that's a lot of time. I wasn't going to answer your question. Yeah, that sounds like my country. You try to open a box and it just breaks. Sounds like my country.
Hello?
Come in.
Okay, I can finally skip ahead. Good. No spoilers now. Yeah. Sure. Alright. What now? Yeah, this really, to the person that was saying, this reminds me of Far Cry. Yeah, this is literally Far Cry 3 in this part. You're climbing a tower in an open location. Yeah, this tower reminds me of Far Cry 3. Is this a DLC? No, it's not a DLC. This is if you select the Nomad character type. You're going to get into this area, so it's not a DLC. It's just one of the paths that you can choose. I never played this part either because I selected Street Kid, so I was never going to get this content. But I mean, it's just 30 minutes of extra content that you don't get to see. But you're not missing much. You can replay this after you finish the game, I'm guessing. There you go. Meeting place. I love that there's nobody here. Just like in real life. Leandro, si la consigo de vuelta, por supuesto. Okay, I'm standing. Oh, I need to be into the car. Okay. I told you, Far Cry. Yeah, Far Cry. Far Cry. Far Cry. Get out of the car. Okay.
Oh, I was worried I'd have to turn to farming.
Jackie, what are you doing here, man? Put the gun away, Jesus. Muscle discipline, please.
I believe I am.
I hate that the skipping dialogue key is C. Each time I skip ahead, I crouch. That's mildly infuriating. Did they actually fix performance for all the GPUs? No.
Load it.
They improved the reflection performance, but on other GPUs I saw a very tiny difference. It's smoother, but that's about it. Which is welcome, but I mean, it wasn't going to be a miracle that you get 20 more FPS. I mean, that's nonsense. You can check that if you rewind the livestream though. No, Joaquín, jamás, pero me quedo con Windows 10 normal. Para hacer tests.
You the job deeds?
TJ, I was just making sure.
Okay, hopefully now there is a fight or something.
Ain't we?
But so far is doing well.
Hey, you, sure you've moved contraband before?
Why? Are you nervous?
Me? Well, maybe a little.
Okay, we're getting there. Come on.
Border crossing up ahead. What now?
PS4 version of this game is one
Scan
COVID
us.
lockdown. What? What do you mean by that?
Okay.
I'll do the talk.
Is it that bad on PS4?
Please direct your vehicle to the inspection area. Remain in your vehicle. The security.
I'll stay in my vehicle, yeah.
I got a real bad feeling about this.
Hand me the manifest. They'll need to see it.
Grab these.
Let me
Let's
see.
put this to the side. I don't want
Mark
to put
Delaware.
more mate
Perfect.
into my keyboard, please.
Lost on arrival. Means the cargo was flagged as to be lost as soon as it crossed the border.
Oh, so they know we're smuggling.
Well, they're about to find out.
Don't bribe them. You can bribe them?
The owner of the
I mean, I don't have money anyway, so I cannot bribe anyone without money.
Chingada madre. What now?
You have bribe money? No. This is how it works. It's all in line with procedures.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. Oh, you meant that... Okay,
want the
no
customs
crowd
officer
density.
to
Makes
bring
sense. I
blind
mean, we're
out
in the
here
middle of the
to the
desert.
dock. We'll need a sweetener.
So yeah.
Do you have the credit chip with the bribe?
Oh,
Yeah, I did 720p, Alan, on the 1050 Ti, which is basically the same. So don't worry.
You forgot.
Todo bien, Just Pop Games. ¿Y vos? ¿Todo bien? Is that your girlfriend? No. I don't have a girlfriend.
Do that.
I wish.
If you're armed, place your
She's
weapon
long
here.
gone, unfortunately. But hey, it happens. This is my gun, sir. Yeah, it's really nice.
Now,
Trigger
please
discipline,
report to room
please.
number 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Please sit.
I'm sitting, yeah.
Papers.
Papers, please.
I know the rules. Everything's there.
It might be, it might not be. We'll see.
Hay una diferencia significativa de FPS. Sí, en la 1650 Super y en la 570 los reflejos corren mejor. How's the patch looking like? Any major improvements? On the CPU side, it improved, like on the previous patch.
There's one.
But, what's the name of this? But the only improvements on the GPU side that I noticed were on the reflection side of things. So the 1050 Ti, for example, didn't change that much, but if you're using the 570 or the 1650 Super, in that case it's going to be basically the same. Sorry, if you're not using the 570 or the 1650 Super, in this case, it's not going to change, because on the 1050 Ti we weren't using reflections, screen space reflections to begin with.
I'll tell you soon.
So in that case it's going to be the same. It's going to improve if you were using screen space reflections in the past. They seem to have improved that effect, but overall, the same. With more stability when fighting the police and all that. On the gameplay side, I didn't notice anything major, because I haven't played the game much. I only tried it for benchmarking purposes.
The customs dickhead got nitpicky.
So yeah.
that ain't normal.
Not to that extent.
Sí, se jugará otra vez a la 2.0,
Trouble around the bend.
literal.
Drive jack.
Yeah, guys, we're playing the game again once we get the next patch. So we're going to compare the next patch against this one, like I'm doing right now, but on the next patch. If there's any major difference, of course.
This does not look good.
So here's the shooting part. A very good just keyboard and mouse on console. Yeah, I tried it. It wasn't great. I mean, 2 or 3 games support it. At least at the time I tried it. I played Fortnite with mouse and keyboard, and it was okay. The input lag was a little bit dreadful. It was dreadful on the input lag side. I could still play fine against console people. I also tried Warzone on the consoles with mouse and keyboard, and I noticed that more input lag. Not sure if that was my brain telling me it was a console. But I don't know, I just use a controller. There are hardware mods that you can do to connect mouse and keyboard, but it doesn't feel good to use because those games are not made with mouse and keyboard in mind. You're emulating an analog stick with your mouse, so it feels dreadful. So yeah, my advice, if you get a console, use the controller. Do yourself a favor. Console people will never count? What do you mean never count? Boom, explosion. Anybody else? Yeah, this is a nice gun. It reminds me of the Judge shotgun in Payday 2.
B, watch it!
Close call. Yeah, this mission cool. Yeah, this is the first mission if you play Nomad.
We lost him.
How is the RX 590 on this game? Should be like 20 frames ahead of this
My
one.
nerves can handle this.
Keep
Sorry,
driving.
20 frames.
Can't
15
stop
frames ahead of this one. But that's a wild guess.
Looks deserted.
You're
Stop
welcome.
here. Need to sort out a few things before we go on.
You can be a PC, console, or handheld gamer, but those getcha awful mobile games. Well, they are on all platforms, so at least they are free to play.
They almost tagged our asses. That what you call smuggling?
Oh, I have my own shadow. That's kind of cool.
Supposed to go.
Yeah, skip ahead, whatever.
We've crossed.
Yeah, we don't care. You tricked me. What now?
I don't know. Says
Here we go. An iguana. What the hell? I'm lost. Well, I'm lost because I haven't paid attention to a single line of dialogue,
Thanks.
which is kind of the point of this channel.
Okay.
But that's a nice iguana.
Hello there, Night City!
There we go. We're back in the city. So as you can see, the prologue is what changes
Chick we're looking for.
when you're going in different paths. If you select Corpo, you're into a big corporation at the start and get into this location after that. Nomad, you're in the desert, do that mission, and after that you end up in the city in the same mission as the street kid.
Down for some target
So yeah, it's basically the same.
No, no.
Only the first 20 to 30 minutes are different. The rest is exactly the same, at least for me.
Mañana.
Let's do this.
Even my pistol is the same now. Whoa, I screwed up.
Elevator. This way.
Yeah, even my pistol is the same. Yeah, this is the same mission now. So yeah, that's something that kind of disappoints me. I was expecting to start completely differently, but apparently not. Come on, Jackie, let's go. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to get out of the game now. I've seen enough, I think. So let's go back to what I was doing before letting you guys go. So we're back into the patch notes. So there's a lot of changes. I mean, if I go down this page, as you can see, there's a lot of changes, and these are, you can open this and read them. So for many quests, there's improvements, a lot of fixes to the UI, to the gameplay. We only care about the performance differences. So let me read those very quickly for you. Stability and performance across platforms. So this is what I was talking about. Dynamic resolution scaling improvements. I don't know. It's good to have, but I haven't noticed anything special. Frame time consistency. Frame rate consistency. Well, the frame times and the frame rates, at least for me, had been better. Less hitches and spikes. That's true. I just proved it. Especially during combat. I proved that a few moments ago. Streaming improvements. Fix a streaming issue affecting performance in the city center district. Not sure if I was in the city center or next to it. But yeah, driving around was more stable. Memory optimizations. What else? Yeah, this is not... Yeah, I haven't run into any of these three. But then, some of the graphics fixes that I haven't noticed. But if you go all the way down, PC specific. Well, going from windowed full screen to full screen now works better. Alt tabbing is better. So it's more stable when you alt tab out of the game. Added a more compact PC version of the mouse cursor, so it's easier to traverse in the menus. And that's basically it. So what I noticed, less VRAM usage, less CPU usage, still uses a lot of CPU, but it's still an improvement. Then I noticed less spikes in the frame time, which is a good thing, especially when shooting or driving, which is when it was most noticeable. And then on the reflections side of things, low reflections runs better than before, so I can increase it to high reflections and it works better than on the previous patch. But not much else, it stays there. So it's an improvement. It should have been like this on day one, like I said, each time. So yeah, once we get 1.4 or 2.0, that patch, another big patch, I'm going to make another live stream and compare it to this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did checking it out for the millionth time. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye guys. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Thank you. See you next time. See you next patch. See you next patch. Yeah, see you next patch. I like that. Love you all guys. Bye bye. Thank you. See you later. Adios.